Welcome to the Young Adult World podcast. Hi, this is Lee Langdon. Today on the podcast, I want to do something special. Recently, 14 people representing our young adult ministry here at Memorial Road, including my wife and me, who are not young adults, we traveled to Tegucigalpa, Honduras. While we were there, we experienced so many wonderful things. The joy of the people there and the everyday kindness they show to everyone. We built a house for a family one day for a lady named Elsie, and then the next day we painted that house and shared a meal with her and her family. We visited Mi Esperanza. It's a place full of hope and giving hope to women as they begin to rebuild their lives on faith and their newly learned skills that kind of break them out of poverty. We spent a lot of time with Breaking Chains, a home for young adults and their families, helping them break poverty cycles, building their faith, teaching them skills, as well as actually regularly feeding people literally on the streets of Honduras at night. We tasted a lot of wonderful Honduran coffees, and we were so blessed to end our trip with a couple of days in Roatan, Honduras, soaking up the beauty of God's amazing island creation. So today on this podcast, I want to try to take you on the journey with us to Honduras. While I was there, I was able to sit down with a few missionaries to visit about their work and hear from their hearts about the work that they're doing and the people of Honduras. And guys, these missionaries, they're amazing. The way they walk in faith every single day, it was just so inspiring to me, to all of us actually. They live in such a way that trusting God to provide and care for them, it's like swimming in water or breathing air. It's just who they are and how they live and how they function. I want to be like that. I find it helpful to hear from people who live like this, and it inspires me to keep going in my own walk with God. And they are there for the long haul. They are there as long as God desires them to be there. Long obedience, one day at a time, in small and in big ways. They just keep going. It's so great. Please look at the show notes for this episode. There you're going to find some links to the magnificent mission efforts like Mi Esperanza, like Breaking Chains. This is my effort to pass the information on to you so you will consider donating to one of these efforts to help them continue in their important work. Investment with them is a huge investment for the kingdom of God, and I encourage you to jump in where you can. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. I really, truly hope this episode is a blessing to you in some way. Maybe it will inspire you to join us next year when we go back, if God desires that, of course. And hey, I don't say this enough, but I would love to hear from you. If something inspires you or encourages you, or you have an idea for a show for the future, whatever, send us an email, youngadultworldpodcast@gmail.com. I will certainly respond. Okay, guys, thanks for being here again. Here we go, to Honduras.
When directed to exit, jump onto the slide and move away from the airplane. In a water evacuation, life rafts are located in marked ceiling compartments. All exits are clearly marked with signs and open instructions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Honduras.
Okay, I think it's going. Yeah.
Is that fine with the daycare noise behind?
Oh, it's totally
okay.
Fine. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm curious. Would you tell me your name and where we are?
My name is Lori Connell, and we are in Tegucigalpa, Honduras at the Mi Esperanza Center.
Mi Esperanza Center. Tell me about what is this place?
Okay. Mi Esperanza means my hope, and the ministry here began in 2002. So we're looking at 25 years next year, which is very exciting. But we're an organization that works specifically with women and giving them opportunities to receive education, financial financial backing in the way of microloaning, and with the hope and the vision that they will then have a way to earn an income and take care of their children.
Yeah, you told us about one of the loans you gave out a while back, and they created a taco stand or something. Tell me about that.
So in 2002, when we began, we only did microloans. We gave out 6 microloans in one community, and one of the women, with her loan, she started a tortilla making business. And she would make tortillas at home, and then she would go out on the street with a plastic tub on her head and sell her tortillas. And she did that for quite some time, but in the end, fast forward many years, not only did she have a tortilla making business, but she had built her family a concrete home.
Wow.
That also had a little section on the side, a little rental almost, that she was able to rent out, and that was another source of income for her families. And just that small $180 loan that she paid back over a year just completely changed her life.
That's amazing. So you're teaching, as they say, people to fish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I like to say, we've all heard it. If you give a man a fish, you eat for a day. If you teach him to fish, he eats for a lifetime. But if you teach a woman to fish, everybody eats. And that's because women just instinctively, we take care of everybody else. And we see that play out over and over again. Not just women taking care of their children, which is important and the reason we started. But they take care of their neighbors. They take care of their extended family. They take care of their mothers and siblings, and the ripple effect that we feel like Mi Esperanza is making is really oftentimes farther than what we can see.
Yeah. You said you graduated like 60 women this last year, and that's been over 25 years. How many people have you helped?
Well, I'd have to do the math.
Yeah.
In the quite honestly, in the beginning, we didn't keep those kind of records.
Right.
Like in the beginning when we started, it was me and my friend Janet when we founded Mi Esperanza. We didn't even keep those kind of records. We just kind of were, as we describe it, it's like we just kept taking the next fateful step, where we felt God was leading, and it really wasn't until probably a good 5 years in that we really started keeping like solid records to be able to go back and look at. We just had no idea what God was going to do, and He has continued to show us that He has bigger dreams than we can even dream sometimes.
Yeah, more than we can imagine.
Absolutely.
He just does that over and over again.
Over and over, yeah.
I would imagine it was that's a huge change to go from wherever you were from to here. Like,
Yes.
what made you, where are you from?
Well, originally I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. However, I was living in Birmingham, Alabama, when my husband and I decided to move to Honduras full-time and be about the work full-time. We came on a mission trip in 99. 2004, we started spending the entire summers here, and we did that for 4 years. And then in 2008, both of our kids were grown, graduated college, and we just decided that we wanted just to come and be here and do the work on a full-time basis. And so we moved here, and we lived here completely full-time for about 15 years. And then just a couple of years ago during COVID, we kind of made a swap for some family reasons to being in the States a little bit more with our grandchildren. And so now I'm probably about half and half now. And my husband Mark's probably here 7 months of the year and then 5 in the United States. But it's around that.
How does it make you feel when you think, we've been here 25 years and you look back over all of the things that God has done through your life? How does it make you feel?
Most of the time I just feel very humbled because I'm not a college graduate. I didn't go to college. I was, my husband and I were high school sweethearts. We got married right out of high school, and just kind of life, in some sense, just kind of happened. And we can look back now and clearly see the steps in how God got us here. Even when we weren't seeing what was happening at the time, But when we look back now, we're like, oh, that's what God was doing. That's what God was doing. And so I still to this day just feel very humbled and grateful that I get to do this. And I'm boots on the ground. I get a front row seat to what these women do, because that's what it's about. We can provide all the opportunity, which is our goal, right? But it's every one of the women that come through this program and what they do with that opportunity. They're the real hero. They're the ones that need to be applauded, because they face tremendous obstacles, and they take small bits of opportunity and they just change their entire life.
I love that. I walked around the store where I can see all the things that they've made. Tell us about the store and how listeners can find it.
Okay. Well, if you come to Honduras, which we obviously hope you will do at some time, we do have an on-site store where people that are here come and visit our center, learn about what we do, and then shop at our store.
We are in Tegucigalpa, so like
Correct.
it's in the heart of
city.
Yeah.
Yep, in the capital city. We're right in the center, which is important because all of the women that we work with, the majority of them, rely on public transportation. They're not people that own cars or can afford taxis. They take buses, and we're very close to a big bus route by a hospital here, and so we're really primely located for what we do. But we do have an online store, and it's called, our website is thewomenofmyhope.org, and you can go to our online shop and shop there. You can also read about women that have come through our program. But we began selling things back in 2005. Not things then, it was one bag. And fast forward to 26, we have an entire store of jewelry, textiles, pottery, coffee, and 90% of what's in our shop is made right here at Mi Esperanza. And the women that come through our sewing school and our jewelry training program are the artisan makers who create the designs that you'll find either in our online store or here in the shop store here. And the women are able to support their families doing it. And so we love the fact that they have a place where they can be. It pays them to where they can support their families. They're in safe environments, and because the production world as a whole, if you look into it, is a pretty dark business. And so we're really excited about the culture that we're building here for the women that work in the production area here.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we'll definitely put a link in the show notes so
Great.
people can go to the store, go buy everything you possibly can, support these women. Thank you.
Oh, let me just throw
yes,
one more
please.
thing. We do pop-up shops. So we go all over the country. People will invite us to come and just bring product and do a little pop-up somewhere and share about Mi Esperanza, and people can buy our products. So if that's something you ever are interested in too, you can reach me through our website, and I'd be happy to give you more information about that too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for the work that you're doing, and it's so inspiring to be here. We're just grateful that you're just following the Lord's next steps for you. That's just walking in faith. So thank you so much.
Well, we appreciate you guys being here as well. Thanks for coming.
Amy Turner.
Yes.
We're in the van on the way back. I don't know, what have we been doing today?
Well, we built a house, and then we went to Mi Esperanza, and some of the girls got pedicures and manicures, and I got my hair done.
You're saying you guys got nails done today?
Yes, they did. They got their nails done and their toes done as well.
And your hair looks fantastic. They did. What did they do to your hair?
They washed it, and then they blow dried it, and then they curled it with a straightener. So, yes.
It's pretty impressive that these ladies at Mi Esperanza, like, they've learned these trades and they're really good at what they do. Don't you agree?
Yes, it is. It's very wonderful that they have gotten these job opportunities to help the community.
We were painting this morning. I'm here with John, tell us your name and who you work for.
I'm John Carson. I work with Breaking Chains, Honduras. We're out here painting today the house that we built yesterday, which is kind of one of the things that I do a lot during the summer.
Yeah, this house is on the side of a mountain. If you could look out, you'd see a valley at the bottom and then just a mountainscape across the way. And water is an issue here. I'm looking at this house. We're in a house right now. And I'm looking, and there's, 5 55-gallon tubs full of water. Tell me about how water works up here on the mountain.
So in this neighborhood, the main line of water is at the top of this hill. And people connect via tubes so it can come down the hill to where they live. And it comes anywhere from once a week during the rainier times to once a month if it gets in the dry time. So what they do is they fill up as many barrels as they can or things that they can so that they can scoop and use water as they need throughout the week.
You said this is kind of a neighborhood that's being settled in, I suppose. Or are they starting to lay pipes? Is there a future of different kind of water situation for these people?
Yeah, so they've incorporated as a neighborhood more recently, and they've begun to do a bit more kind of fixed tubing, and they've also built more water tanks for kind of storing for the neighborhood. You can see one over there, that green tank over there. That's one that they've created in the neighborhood to kind of be like a mini water tower in a way for the neighborhood.
Water is a problem, getting clean water. What are some of the issues of the water here?
Yeah, I mean, the water's not really cleaned. It's not safe to drink, so everybody drinks out of bags of water or bottled water or jugs that come from a company, either Agua Azul or withthe water. And even just getting this water that they get in the tubes for cooking, cleaning, showering is often such an issue. They have to spend a lot of money to get water in the dry seasons if they want it. Showering is, a luxury in a lot of these communities.
You build houses a lot. You said maybe even 30 this summer. 30 families might receive a house. How do you find people that you build houses for?
The people that we build houses for, it comes via Amber has a list that she keeps of the people who come to the church, and then also, have a big need for having a house, such as Elsie, who didn't actually have a house and was renting and spending tons of money and is a single mom. So there's a lot of considerations to situations along with coming to church.
I'm so grateful for all the work that you're doing, John. How long have you been here in Honduras?
So I've been here 13 years. My wife, Michael, who grew up at Memorial Road, she came in 2011 with the hymn program. So then when we were getting married, we ended up deciding to come here. And we've been here ever since, doing all the good work we can.
How long do you plan to be here?
Oh, we have zero plans to leave, and I see zero reason why we would ever run out of things to do here.
Man, I appreciate your heart, all that you do, John. Thanks for being on here.
Yeah, appreciate you guys coming down.
I'm here with Amber. Amber, what's your full name, and tell us where we are?
My full name is Amber Dawn Foster, and we are at Breaking Chains, Honduras.
What is your role here?
I am the founder and director of our ministry here, which is a homeless ministry and a ministry to the underserved of Tegucigalpa.
Yeah. So you were just kind of telling me some of the origin story of this place. Why did Breaking Chains even come about?
Breaking Chains started feeding people out of the back of my pickup truck. And then we started meeting young people that we really felt like if they were given a chance, they could maybe do something with their lives more than just live on the street. So started looking for a facility, saw several different paint stores in the area that were just very small and awkward and super expensive. And then came across this 18-bedroom old home right in the middle of downtown that had no roof, and the floor was caved in, and it was just really had a lot of problems, but it had good bones. And so we rented it for a couple of years and fixed up a little bit, but mostly just used the front room to see if the homeless people would come to us, which they did. We fed about 100 people 4 nights a week. And then I talked to Dudley Chancey, who was a big part of me coming to Honduras initially, and said, I think we'd like to purchase this building. And that was in November. And in February, he called me and said he had done a big push with the high schoolers at Winterfest, and that they had raised all of the money to purchase the building and to put a new roof on it. And I cried my eyes out and said, God, I know I asked for this, but I'm not sure this is really what I want. Had to really reevaluate my faith and my reasons for doing things, and then step out in faith with God. Prayed for a team, and he has provided a great team of both North Americans and Hondurans, where we now have a transition home for young adults, a scholarship program for little kids to help their families break out of the cycle of poverty, and a church of about 150 people that meet every Sunday.
They meet right here in this facility?
No, they meet in a rural community where we also work.
So you've created this community over the last 20 years, I guess?
Yeah, about 20 years.
20 years. Well, how many young adults are living in the complex right now?
Currently we have about 9. We intentionally keep that number small so that we can be a family for them and a support system for them permanently, and not just another children's home in a series of children's homes where they've lived.
Do you help them find jobs? What are some of the things you do to help them kind of break out of that cycle?
When a young person, we only take young people that are 18 to 23 years old. When they come to us, we require 2 things of them. That they come to us. We don't pick kids up, because we've found if they're not strong enough to get to us, they're not strong enough to stay. And that they are sober at the time they're talking about staying. They don't have to be completely clean and off of drugs, but they do have to know what they're committing to. And then they live with us for about a week and make a contract after that week, once they kind of know us and we know them. And that contract is different for every kid. If it's a drug addict that's been on the streets for 20 years, 10 years, that's going to be different than a kid coming out of a children's home that just needs some basic life support. Once they're here, we help them get education. We really strongly push education. We believe it changes lives. Help them get clean off of any drugs they might have, do counseling, and then if they want to work, then we will help them find a job. Most of our young people at this point choose education, and we should have our first university graduate within the next year, and we're very excited about that.
Wow, that is very exciting. Yeah. They would go to a college around here? Or?
A university. Yeah, we call high school college, like in Honduras, but they go to a university, a public university nearby.
Yeah. Tell me about your faith. Like, why did you even come here in the first place? How did you get here?
That's kind of a long story, Lee. I grew up in Southwest Missouri in a very small conservative town, in a very small conservative home, and went to OC, Tegucigalpa Christian, to school. And that 3 hours from my front door to OC was as far as I ever wanted to be from home, from my mama. And I probably had some kind of social anxiety disorder. I didn't speak unless spoken to. I was very reserved. And my freshman year, I was sitting in the college class on Memorial Road, and Dudley Chancey came and spoke to our class and handed around a list to come to Honduras. And I can only attribute putting my name on that list to the Holy Spirit. I don't like to travel. I still don't really like to travel. I want to go home and be with my mom. But I put my name on the list, didn't know anyone else going. And a week before we were to leave to come here, I told everyone I'd never go on another mission trip. I had stress ulcers in my mouth. I couldn't eat for weeks. I was terrified. But I got here And I knew that this is where I was supposed to be. And so I argued with my 19-year-old self, like, that's stupid. Like, I didn't grow up in a church where we really talked about the Holy Spirit. And it's like, this is, you're just convincing yourself of this. So argued with myself a lot about that, but kept coming back every spring break. And then the summer between my junior and senior year, I lived here with a very poor family for 3 months and really learned what I was capable of. I mean, it was a hard summer, but at the end of that summer, I knew this is where I was supposed to be. And so Dudley was here when I left, fully expecting me to be very excited to go home. So, you ready to go see your mom? I said, no, this is home. This is where I'm supposed to be. And so I went back. That last year of college was the hardest thing. Like, I knew Hondurans didn't care if I graduated or not. I'm going to get that degree. And then I moved here with the hymn program on Memorial Road and served for 2 years with the hymn program. Worked at a children's home for a while. Did a lot of different things. Really had to go through a lot of hard things and figure out if my faith was about doing what felt good or doing what was right and what I knew to be what he was calling me to do, versus even though it was hard, it still felt good. I went through a lot of hard things and have continued to go through hard things on the mission field, but just trusting that he has that next step and trusting that he will provide the way when he has. I've started a church at one point there were about 250 people, and I was still doing all the ministry except the pulpit ministry. Like, there was a preacher, but the gringa needed to get out of the way and let the Hondurans have their church, and that's where Breaking Chains started, was just handing food out on the street and trying to figure out what's next after this church plant. And so it's grown from pretty humble beginnings, from a very humble girl that still doesn't really know what she's doing, but just trying to follow each step he puts in front of me.
So what is the name of the church? What would you call
Well, our ministry is Breaking Chains.
Breaking Chains. So, and the church that meets
is
Breaking Chains.
Breaking Chains.
Church,
yeah. Breaking Chains.
How
Church
would
in
you-
Montes. Montes de Bendición, so Mount Blessings is the community where we work.
Yeah. How would you describe the church that you've planted?
The church is the sweetest thing. We did have church meeting in our facility until COVID. During COVID, all things shut down for about a year and a half. But then after COVID, we had to decide, what do we do? Do we continue to have church here within our ministry building? But most of the people that came to our church were coming from the rural community where you guys built the house, which is about a 30, 45-minute journey for a poor person. I mean, they have to take different modes of transportation. They have to walk. And so we decided, well, let's just try it out in Montes and see what happens. And I really we started this little church with several single moms with young kids, because there's just not a lot of men in that community, and the ones that are there are really just around at night. We started the church in February, and then the summer's busy, and then I was going to be gone for a couple of months, and I really thought, okay, while I'm gone for this 3 or 4 months, this is either going to sink or swim. Like, they're either doing it to make me happy, or they're really going to kind of take ownership of their church. And in that 3 months, they started having children's class. And then my favorite thing still about this community church is that they've decided they want to feed their kids. They want to feed the community kids. And so when I would go to church prior, I would take juice and cookies, just a little snack. While I was gone, they decided that they would, each member of the congregation each week decides for next week what lunch is going to be. And they all bring a little bag of rice or a little bit of chicken or a piece of fruit or whatever it is, and they all contribute to lunch for these kids, all these kids in the community. And I don't have anything to do with it. Wow. Like, it's Breaking Chains doesn't have anything to do with it. It is this poor community showing up for their kids. And to me, that is just a beautiful expression of God's love in this community.
Yeah. What keeps you going?
Friends, faith, I mean, just taking the time to rest, but then looking at the positive side of things. I think it's easy to get bogged down in what you can't do and what hasn't been done and what's failed. But it's just as easy to be fueled by what you can see and what is happening. And that little community church feeds my soul. And I have a strong group of missionary friends that walk alongside me, and we share the hard parts and we share laughter and joy. And that's just kind of what keeps me going.
I'm curious, young adults listen to this podcast and their parents. What would you say to them about your ministry? What would you say to them about how they can support, help, find out more about it?
I would love for you to support our ministry. We truly are just limited by funds and what we are, people we're able to hire, schooling we're able to pay for. We could do so much more with more funds, but we choose to steward well what we've got. But really, more than that, I would just encourage you to not let your youth stop you. I did not at all have this on my radar. But God opened a door and I chose to walk through it. And anybody, anywhere can do that. That's not unique to me. I was not anyone special by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I now. So just strongly encourage people to look around in their community and to look inside and see what God's calling them to do, and do that. And if that's support us and be a part of our team, we would love that. And if it's not, I believe God has a purpose for every single person listening.
We've been talking about what does it mean to walk by faith, something we've been talking about recently in our young adult ministry. And you are a living example of someone taking that next step, continuing to just trust God that He's going to take care of you as you go. Thank you for your life and all that you're doing. This is beautiful.
Thanks for letting me talk to you.
Callie, how are you?
Great.
Yeah, it's been a big day, hasn't it?
It has been.
Yeah.
We've packed it in.
Let's recap. What did we do this morning, first thing?
Well,
Wait a minute, what day is it?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday?
I think, yes. We had a delicious breakfast, pancakes, fresh fruit. It was really good. And then we went to paint the house that we built yesterday for Elsie.
Yes. We painted it. What color did we paint it?
It was like a teal. It was really pretty.
It was really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. And we whipped that out pretty quickly. We painted a whole house.
We did.
Fast.
It was fast. We
Yeah.
worked really well as a team.
Way up in the mountain, and then we came down, went to, where did we go after that?
We went to Breaking Chains.
Breaking Chains,
To work
yes.
with the kids.
Yeah, what did you do specifically?
I was with a girl named Allison. She's 17 years old. And we just had conversations in English. She speaks English really well. I was really impressed. And we got to be really great friends by the end of the day. Her story was really inspiring. She actually was diagnosed with cancer at like 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
And her parents worked really hard to earn money for her to have treatment. And Michael, who works with Breaking Chains, hired her mom to be the housekeeper there and provided funds for her to get chemo treatment at the hospital. And she's doing so well.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's really
Man.
neat.
Wow, what an incredible story. Breaking Chains is really impressive. They're doing
It
some
really is.
incredible work.
They are. They're changing so many lives, and just families, starting with like working with the moms and working a lot with like mental health. And it was just really inspiring to hear that. So
Yeah, I was impressed with their desire to help people like get out of the cycle of poverty.
yes.
Just kind of help them.
Same.
Yeah,
It was
pretty
really,
impressive.
really inspiring. for
We
sure.
went back and ate dinner, and then where did we go? Because this was pretty fun.
Oh yes, we ate dinner and then we went to see the Jesus statue.
The Jesus statue.
It was really, really cool. They have like an Eiffel Tower thing
Yeah.
there too.
We're
so
actually
cool.
we're on the bus going down
We
right
are
now. Down
going down the mountain.
We can look out the window and see all of the lights of Tegucigalpa.
Yeah. It's so cool.
It's really
We're
cool.
really high up.
Yeah. How much time do you think we spend on the bus every day?
Oh man, with the traffic, it takes a long time getting around.
Yeah.
I don't know, multiple hours
Yeah, multiple.
every
it does,
day.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
At least three.
At least 3 for
hours,
sure.
yeah.
Yes.
But that's just how it is because traffic is ridiculous.
It is really
It's
bad.
crazy.
There's crazy drivers.
Yeah.
It's kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Well, Brooke, I hope you get a good night's sleep. We'll
Thank you.
start off in the morning with breakfast on Thursday.
Yes, it'll be a great day tomorrow.
What we're going to do tonight is how this ministry started. Just handing food out of the back of the pickup truck. Every time I talk about our ministry, I say that I've been hungry. We've all felt what hunger feels like. We've all been thirsty. And I can imagine homelessness. So many of the people that we work with, that we interact with on the street, feel like no one cares whether they wake up in the morning or not. And that's something I cannot begin to understand. I've never had to deal with that. The fact that you're here tells me you probably haven't had to deal with that. We all deal with some loneliness, but we all inherently know that we are loved. And so many of the people that we work with on the street don't have that. And so our goal at Breaking Chains is just that everyone that comes into contact with us as a ministry knows that we love them. And that if they can begin to believe that we care about them, they can begin to believe that God cares about them. Because so many of them feel like God is mad at them, or they've messed up so badly that God can never love them. So tonight is not about feeding starving people. No one that we give a plate of food to is starving for food, but they are starving to be seen. They're starving to not have you just look past them. One of the things I talk about is that we are all sinful. We are all full of the same sin. We just know how to dress it up a little bit better than the people we deal with on the street. Sin is sin, and we all need Jesus. And I think it's really easy to classify our sin and their sin and feel a little bit better than those people doing drugs on the street. But really, sin is sin, and it is corrosive to our lives if we don't have Jesus to save us. So, we will set up in the back of the pickup truck. I can't tell what is in that bag, but it's probably spaghetti or rice and beans or chicken and rice. And there will be a job for 3 or 4 of you. The rest of you, your job is just to smile and to be open and to be aware of what's going on around you. It's kind of a dark alley where we park. There is light. It's not completely dark. But it is not in the safest part of town. That's not where the homeless people hang out. So we will be hyper aware of everything that's going on around us, and we will pull you out if there is any hint of danger. If that happens, if I say get on the bus right now, we're going, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're interacting in a great conversation, you're praying, or you're baptizing someone in a puddle, I don't care, we're leaving. Get on the bus. But if that happens, and it does sometimes happen, it doesn't mean you're about to die. And if it becomes about this scary thing that happened and we had to leave so fast, like we've completely missed the point of why we're going in the first place. 99.9% of the time, our team would stay in that situation. But we're going to pull you out before you're in any kind of major situation.
My name is Trevor Talley, and we went to the street and we helped hand out meals for those living on the streets.
That was really something. Have you ever done anything like that before?
I have with Feed a Sheep in downtown OKC, but this was a different experience.
It's Friday. What time is it, guys? It's 4:20, and I'm with someone here, Brooklyn. Brooklyn, tell us your full name. Let's talk about what did we do today? Where we just go?
This is Brooklyn Buxton. We went to Breaking Chains and we made grocery bags. So we had to split up some rice and beans and cereal and organize it all, and we gave them some milk and coffee and eggs, lots of everything, a good package, and we handed those out. And then we did painting with the kids, so we had to set out some paints, and we just sat there and painted and talked with them, let them practice English.
Are you an artist, Brooklyn?
No, not at all. Not even a little bit.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. Come find us on Instagram. Our profile is Young Adult World Podcast. Tell us what you connected with during our podcast today. This podcast is part of the Young Adult Ministry at the Memorial Road Church of Christ in Edmond, Oklahoma. Come join us sometime. There's plenty of room for everyone. If you want to reach out to us, don't hesitate to email us at youngadultworldpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, guys, see you next time for another Young Adult World conversation. Yeah. You have a lot to say, buddy.